Alright, budget magic time. 5 ticket mono red goblins, and that's a 0-lander. Alright. I will begrudgingly keep this hand. Mardu Scout is fine, I guess. I'm starting to wonder if I'm going about this all wrong and I should just be jamming Impact Tremors in the main deck. I like it in the sideboard, but I guess it depends on the matchup. Some matchups it's really bad. In a mirror, it's not going to be very good at all. So maybe it's best in the sideboard and just bring it in slow matchups. But that card is really good in slow matchups. Are we up against a Tarka Red, perhaps? Landfall, by the looks. There's a fetch land. So I think what we're going to do is... opponent just gets another tap land. I would have thought they would want to save their landfall for when they could attack, but I guess not. Well, now we can... We have free reign to attack, and then I guess just Hordling Outburst? Either that or we Mardu Scout plus Wild Slash. Which is better here? Well, let's go with Hordling Outburst, because we can always dash Mardu Scout plus attack next turn. And this also gives us the option to just dash our Heel Cutter and get in damage that way, which seems reasonable, depending on how the game goes. Slide Runner. McKindy. Does our opponent have land? Oh man. If our opponent doesn't have a land drop, we can run all over them with our goblin tokens. Land? Ooh, man. Alright. Now we get to Wild Slash the Slide Runner. Dash the Heel Cutter and attack for 8. And this game should be over in pretty short order. Heel Cutter is still a good card. Puts our opponent down to 9. If we do that one more time, then our opponent can no longer crack fetches. Either way, we're in incredible shape at the moment. There's a land for our opponent. I wonder if they crack it, though. It seems risky, since our opponent knows that we can hit them for 8. Or at least we're representing 8 damage. You're not going to attack, are you? Man, if our opponent attacks with Scythe Leopard, I think they just lose. Unless they have something crazy. I guess Radiant Flames, but I don't think this deck plays Radiant Flames. Definitely not on the main deck. They're going to get in there. I am not sure about this. Yeah, there you go. Well, they don't have enough mana to truly combo us off. Alright, we're down to 14. Can you stay alive? Well, there's a mountain. That should do it. We get to dash Heel Cutter. They would need 2 burn spells. Dash Mardu Scout. What do you got? Alright, there's Wild Slash. Takes down Heel Cutter. You got another one? If they got 2, then they're still in the game. And if they can combo us off next turn, then we could lose. They do have double Wild Slash. So do we attack with everything? Or do we leave one back to block? If they have Temur Battle Rage plus Become Immense, this becomes... Yeah? I think actually we gotta leave one back. Because Temur Battle Rage plus Become Immense on Scythe Leopard would represent 14 damage with Trample and Double Strike. So one Goblin would keep us alive, and then we would win on the backswing. So I think we're still going to get there. It seems likely. Another Scythe Leopard. And an Abbot. Alright, our opponent just keeps playing things. What do they reveal? Slide Runner that they can't cast. Well, a Burn Spell would be awesome. That would just win us the game. Another dash creature is decent. Heel Cutter especially. So if we attack with everything, we dash Marty Scout, attack with everything, they block, block, block. Yeah, that works, because they have to block everything, since we drew a Scout. So they won't have a creature left over to combo off with anyway, and they'll go to 1. And that should do it. I was just running that same math of if they could save one creature, get the combo going, could we lose? But with the dash creature, not a concern anymore. So our opponent goes to 1, we clear away their board, and pass it back. I don't think they have a card that gets them out of this now. I guess they need land, Swift Spear, plus the combo, and they don't have enough cards for that. Zurgo. Alright. I mean, I guess they can try to make 3 creatures and stay alive that way. Abbot. Yeah, that's probably not going to do it for you. Well, they got a land. That doesn't help because they can't crack it. They kill themselves by sacking Wooded Foothills. The honorable way to die. Yeah, so in this matchup, we probably want lots of ways to kill creatures. Even Molten Vortex is interesting. What are we taking out? Maybe the Subterranean Hangers. We're on the draw. I think Glory Chaser is worse on the draw. Maybe we take out the Glory Chasers. Or at least some of them. Do we also want Molten Vortex? And we just be like the... I don't think they can beat Molten Vortex backed up by a clock. Yeah, let's bring in Molten Vortex too. Yeah, let's try it like that. Alright, so... Jeez. We have the mono removal hand, which might not be bad. If we can keep our opponent's board clear... does our opponent know it's their turn? Okay. If we can keep the board clear, we're in pretty good shape in this matchup, I think. Well, let's just lead on a Wild Slash. Take down the Zurgo. No sense in waiting and letting our opponent save it with a pump spell and blow us out. Like, the small percentage that we could get more value, I don't think is worth the risk of ending up 2 for 1. Our opponent appears to like playing things on their second main phase, or they just don't have any lands. Ooh, double Pile Driver? Well, if our opponent can't kill our Pile Drivers, that's a really quick clock. 2 Pile Drive. Well, I mean, not really quick, but 2 Pile Drivers can attack for 6 a turn. Pretty quick. There's another land for our opponent. Unfortunately for them, it's a mountain. Slide Runner. So I think the plan is just Fire Impulse, Slide Runner. Yeah. We will Fire Impulse the Slide Runner. Attack with the Pile Driver. Only for 1 this time. Play the second Pile Driver. And pass the turn. Does our opponent have some burn spells? If they do, you gotta figure they're gonna use them on these Pile Drivers. At least one of them. And I think we're to the point now where we can play Vortex and just start turning our lands into damage. Our opponent found a land, so they'll have access to green mana now. But we still have a Roast to kill something and Molten Vortex, which is pretty much a repeatable removal spell for every mountain we draw. I think this card's pretty underrated in decks like this. It's a good protection, like hedge against flooding out. And it can just take over some matchups, as we learned in when we played the 37 land Vortex deck. Some decks don't have that many creatures, and this is one of them. And if you can keep their creatures off the battlefield, they just really don't have a very reasonable way of winning. A Heel Cutter would also be pretty sweet if these Goblin pile drivers live. That's a lot of damage. Alright, they go with Abbot plus Scythe Leopard, reveals an Atarka's command. It would kind of be sweet to draw land, too, actually. We could play Vortex, shoot down both creatures, and attack for 6. I guess we can just kill Abbot and another pile driver. Good lord. Well, I guess we roast Abbot. Attack with both pile drivers. And then, since we drew another pile driver, I think we're going to play the land, play the pile driver. So, just our pile drivers are now lethal. And from now on, every land we play, now we're in just like this awesome position where every land we draw is good, because it's a shock with Molten Vortex, and every creature we draw is also fine. I almost just want to draw lands at this point and keep killing our opponent's stuff. I almost think that's better than drawing more creatures, because those pile drivers are going to be attacking for 5 each. That's 15 damage coming across next turn. So unless our opponent can kill them or finds ways to block them, that's going to put them out of their misery pretty fast. Wow, that's an aggressive line. Dashes, a Heel Cutter, a Scythe Leopard. So I guess they're just going to get in for whatever damage they can, and then chump. Do they attack with both? They do. Wow. Alright, so our opponent is dead to a dash creature, dead to any of our burn spells, and dead to a land. The only thing that doesn't kill our opponent from where we're at now is like a Hordling Outburst or a Dragon Fodder or another creature that doesn't have dash. So I think more of our draws than not will kill our opponent. So nice to be in a position where lands are in out. And dash creature, that works. So we just dash the Mardu Scout, swing with everything. Each pile driver is 7, Mardu Scout is 3. So this is like 24 damage coming across. The old triple pile driver draw. Pretty good. So this is turn 5, I believe. Or is it turn 6 now? Turn 5. Turn 5, attacking for 24 damage. And we got there easily. Sweet. Well, this deck is actually really competitive and super cheap. I'm pretty impressed with it.